brother got my girlfriend pregnant while we were dating. So, my religious parents kicked me out and used my college fund for the baby's nursery. Then called me years later begging for money when they lost everything. Life had been simple, or at least, that's what I kept telling myself. I was young, ambitious, in love, and convinced that I had my whole life mapped out. My girlfriend, Ava, and I had been together for 2 years. We met freshman year of college, instantly connected, and built dreams together. We were determined to finish our degrees, get stable jobs, maybe buy a house in the suburbs. I pictured it all so clearly, us, a family, a dog, the perfect version of the American dream. And my parents? They seemed to support me. They were the picture-perfect church-going couple, strict, yes, but always talking about love, family, and God's plan. They never missed a Sunday service, always preached about hard work and faith. I trusted them completely. But nothing could have prepared me for the storm that was coming. It all started one late night when Ava sat me down, tears in her eyes, and whispered the words that hit me like a freight train: "I'm pregnant." My world froze. I wasn't ready. We weren't ready. We were still kids figuring out our lives, chasing dreams that suddenly felt like they were slipping through our fingers. But despite the fear, Ava wanted to keep the baby. And deep down, I knew I couldn't abandon her. So I told her I'd support her no matter what. For a while, I believed that's what love meant, facing the unknown together. But then came the betrayal that shattered everything. Ava confessed the truth one night, through sobs and shaking hands. The baby wasn't mine. It was my brother Josh's. I can't even put into words what that felt like. Imagine your chest being hollowed out, your heart ripped into pieces you could never put back together. Ava begged for forgiveness, swore it was a mistake, but nothing could erase what she said. And Josh? When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. He shrugged it off like it was nothing. No apology, no remorse, just a cold, "It happened. Move on." But how do you move on from being betrayed by the two people you trusted most? When my parents found out, I expected outrage, discipline, something. Instead, they were calm, too calm. My mom muttered that it was God's plan. My dad nodded like this was some holy test of faith. But the worst part wasn't their silence. It was what they demanded of me. They told me to forgive Josh, to support him, to set an example as the older brother, to rise above my anger and embrace this as a blessing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My brother had destroyed my relationship, stolen my future, and they wanted me to take responsibility? When I refused, everything changed. Suddenly, I wasn't the son they loved. I was selfish, ungrateful, a disappointment. And then came the final blow: they told me to leave. Not only did they kick me out, but they also took the college fund I had worked years to save, money I had trusted them to keep safe. They used it to convert my room, the room that once held my dreams, into a nursery for Josh's baby. It felt like my entire existence had been erased, rewritten to fit their story. For the first time in my life, I realized the truth. To my parents, faith mattered more than fairness, appearances mattered more than love, and Josh mattered more than me. So, I left. The following months were brutal. I slept on a friend's couch, scraped together money from part-time jobs, and enrolled in community college. Every night, I replayed the betrayal in my head. Every day, I wondered how my parents could justify what they did in the name of God's plan. For 3 years, I heard nothing. No calls, no visits, not even a text. It was as if I had been erased from their family photo album. Until one day, my phone lit up with a number I hadn't seen in years. My mother's. I hesitated, then answered. Her voice trembled as she told me everything. They had lost it all: the house, the savings, the security they once flaunted. My father had fallen into a bad investment scheme. Now, they were drowning. She begged me to come home, to help them, to be the son they needed now that Josh couldn't carry the weight. For a moment, I almost laughed. 3 years ago, I was nothing to them. Now, I was their last hope. I told her the truth. I reminded her of the night they cast me out, of how they took my savings, my future, and gave it to someone who had betrayed me. I reminded her that she had called it God's plan. So now, I told her, she should accept it the same way I had been forced to. Her sobs broke through the phone. But they couldn't touch me anymore. I had cried too many tears alone. I told her their repentance was between them and God, not me. And then I hung up. I thought that was the end. But it wasn't. A week later, Josh called. His voice was hesitant, almost apologetic. For the first time, he admitted he had messed up. He said he regretted it, that it had all spiraled out of control, that he wanted to make things right. But I couldn't believe him. His regret came years too late, after all the damage was done. I told him his apology meant nothing. He had taken everything from me, and no words could undo that, and I ended the call. Then came Ava. She called me next, her voice soft, pleading. She said I should think about my nephew, that the child was innocent, that he deserved a chance at a good life. She begged me not to punish him for the sins of the parents. For a second, I almost felt the guilt creeping in. Almost. But then I remembered. That child was the reason my future was stolen. The reason I lost everything I had worked for. I told her I didn't want to hear another word. That my nephew wasn't my responsibility. That their mess wasn't mine to clean up. And with that, I hung up again. For the first time in years, I felt free. Free from the weight of their expectations. Free from the guilt they tried to force on me. Free from the chains of a family who never truly valued me. They had chosen their path, and I had chosen mine. And the truth is, sometimes blood isn't thicker than water. Sometimes blood is the very thing that drowns you, unless you learn how to swim away.